Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Heartland Mamas. I'm Murray Briel.
And I'm Heidi Henry coming to you from two socially distant studios at the edge of the Great Red Divide, where every Tuesday and Thursday we bring you the progressive news and views that you can use to help you through your day. Every Tuesday and Thursday you find us live. You can find all of our episodes on every podcast platform, YouTube, and probably part of the Demcast USA network. So today we're going to bring you a little ditty.
Little Ditty about Mitch and Elaine. Two GOP bastards in the Hall of Fame. Uh-oh, we might get sued for that. I don't know. I just made that up. That was good. Yeah. So, funny story about Mitch and Elaine. They're a power couple that have been around forever. Mitch has been known as Mitch the Bitch for us for many, many years. The Grim Reaper. He's prided himself on stopping legislation. He's prided himself on destroying
Yeah,
legislation that has been put through unless it serves a Republican agenda and a
right.
very conservative Republican agenda at that.
Yeah.
So, Mitch is he's the Grim Reaper and he likes it that way. He's a Kentucky
Yep.
boy,
Yep.
born and bred, saved his life through socialized medicine because he had polio. Still doesn't agree
Yeah.
that anyone else should get anything in
No,
life.
as our friend Ben Jarofsky would say, Medicare for me, but not for thee, or Medicare.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So, we have this situation where he has been horrible, obstructive, and extraordinarily damaging.
Yes.
He still hasn't come out really against Donald John Trump. And his wife was
No, he does,
placed
and he doesn't.
in the position of Secretary of Transportation, and her name is Elaine Chao. Now,
Yes.
Heidi and I did a show on Elaine Chao back when we first started our show and talked
Yeah.
about the concerns about the conflicts of interest. The
Right.
fact that she has her family owns one of the largest
China
construction
King.
companies
China
in the
King.
world.
Shipping. Shipping. China King shipping. I'm
Well,
sure
no, no,
you.
no, no. No, they also own, or no, no, you're right, you're right, you're right. And she has a huge stake. This is what I made a mistake. Corrected, thank you. She has a very large stake, which her father also has a stake in Vulcan Quarry. And
Right.
Vulcan Quarry is the largest provider of raw materials for road building across the world. And they're an international company. And so, we had concerns that perhaps inside contracts and things, that information would be
Well,
shared with her
in Murray,
family.
yeah, we had talked about the amount of money that her position in as a Secretary of Transportation had poured into Kentucky. And we also uncovered evidence in reading the Farm Bill, the last Farm Bill passed under the Trump administration, that Mitch and through several shell companies had cornered the market on the Seteva cannabis market, which is fully expecting a Democrat to one day be elected and to have marijuana be legal, not just decriminalized, but legal. And sativa is one of the there's several, and you'll have to go back and look at our cannabis consultant episode where Heidi learned about the different kinds of cannabis there are, and there's so many kinds. But sativa has many more beneficial properties for illness, for pain management, and Mitch has kind of cornered that market, Murray, under the guise of hemp production. So this guy is he's 79 years old, but he's working on all cylinders, and he's cagey and he wants to be, I don't, he can't compete with the wealth of his wife. And I think
Okay,
that this
let
was
me
him trying to complete
explain
that.
to you my description of Mitch McConnell, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's two different types of Republicans right now, or leaders from the Republican Party. And one is the Trump idiot cult following, which includes governors like Ron
January.
DeSantis
Yeah.
and senators like Ted
Greg Abbott.
Cruz and
Josh Hawley.
representatives like Marjorie Taylor Greene. And on the other side, you have the evil arch villain stroking the hairless cat in their cave. And Mitch McConnell falls into the evil villain stroking his hairless cat in his villain cave. And
Right.
so does Greg Abbott. So, there is the two very different types, and that's who Mitch McConnell is. Mitch McConnell has done nothing in his entire career that has not been calculated and planned. If information got out, if any of the information got out about anything, it was because Mitch wanted it to,
Right.
in order to
Right.
use that. So.
Well, so we know that he's like that. He's very manipulative, and I know I read up. I think in Vanity Fair did an article about him in 2019 about what makes Mitch tick, and I could have it wrong. It might be somebody else, but I think it was Vanity Fair about him being a very unpopular, unloved child, and how his way of getting back at people or becoming popular is to accumulate power. And so he had polio, which was difficult and explained some of his gait and facial issues, but his desire to strike back at those he felt had wronged him by shunning him is this wild attempt to accumulate as much wealth and power as he possibly can. So if you get a chance, look that article up. If I can find the link, I'll link it for you. But that was an old revelation I think I brought out in our Mitch the Bitch
Yep, you sure did.
episode. So go roll back to that one.
We've done several episodes on
Mark,
this family, and the corruption never ends. The hairless villain Elaine Chao is also an evil villain. She definitely falls into the calculated, manipulative, evil villain category.
Wigs. If you ever look at her, all that fabulous hair she has is not hers. It's a wig.
Are you serious?
And she has some of those. Yeah, she's known for her.
I didn't know that.
Air quote inspirational wigs. Oh yeah. Well, she's got great hair and she's got like a helmet hair, so it never moves out of place. It's always perfect. And that's just kind of one of her signature fashion choices are these inspirational wigs. And she's got quite a nice head of hair wherever she buys it from. Okay, no, wigs are very popular right now.
Well,
so, not for me. This is all mine.
Aside from her hair, she also, as we talked about, has ties to the Inspector General or the Ethics Commission told her to divest from Vulcan Quarry. She did not. Every time it was Infrastructure Week, Vulcan Quarry would end up with a huge spike in profits. There was much concern about that, not to mention her father's international shipping. And so the Inspector General's department had, over the course of the Trump administration, the Inspector General had referred four secretaries under Trump for criminal prosecution. Now, I want to just clarify this. The Inspector General wasn't like, hey, we got a hint. This is an idea. You might want to check it out. An Inspector General's report is a concise, clearly deeply investigated report that is then taken and decided what to do with. And then that is a full investigation wrapped up in a bow handed to the Justice Department.
Right. It's already been investigated. It's already been checked and double checked. And, Trump had, without a doubt, as history goes down, one of the most corrupt administrations ever, with four cabinet members, the few that he had at the end, and four over the course of the 4 years he was in, terrible ethics violations, terrible. So he is, in my opinion, a very corrupt person and likes to surround himself with the same. I think it's part of his power play to know their corruption so he can use it as leverage.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's just how he is. Yeah. So here's the four things that she's accused of, that Elaine Chao, this stuff went to the Department of Justice in December of last year. The Department of Justice under Trump decided not to pursue it because it was the Justice Department under Trump and he needed Mitch McConnell. Now, based on what's gone on between him and McConnell now, I think it would be a whole different thing. But back then, McConnell was really sucking up to him. Now we're at the cusp of having a new having Merrick Garland installed as to prosecute these things.
Which brings us to a very interesting question, Heidi.
Yeah.
So it was referred to the Justice Department. Bill Barr found that it did not rise to the level of whatever. Come on, please. So you're right. Once Merrick Garland gets in, there's going to be, I think, a large reckoning, and that they are cleaning house in multiple ways, including in the district attorney's offices. They're bringing a acting head into the D.C. office to get to the bottom of what happened while Trump was in power. And so they're all getting nervous. And I have to wonder, could that be why Mitch is talking about an exit strategy?
Well, Mitch is talking about an exit strategy. Murray, this isn't him being the minority leader, the Senate minority leader, was never his intention. He really felt that he would go out on top as the majority leader, as the Grim Reaper, which he loves to refer to himself as, having installed 3 Supreme Court justices under Trump, and I don't remember how many hundreds of federal court justices.
I think like 200.
Yeah, I think it's like 230 something. But the thing is the reason he was able to fill so many is because he prevented them from being done under the Obama administration. So there was a glut of judgeships available, and he stopped the work of the people. Remember, he left that stack of bills in the hopper outside the Senate door from the House for years, so that he could just keep installing these judges. That's been all
his
party
goal.
line stuff.
Right. That's his. One of his legacy, I guess you would. He's very big on legacy.
That is his
and that's what he wants his legacy to be.
But he wanted to go out on top. He wanted to win re-election, still be Senate Majority Leader, and then retire and appoint his successor. He can't do that because the governor of the state of Kentucky would appoint his successor.
Short note, the governor of Kentucky is a Democrat, Andy Beshear. He flipped the state of Kentucky, and it was rather amazing. Heidi and I were down there, and there was a very good, definite, different vibe going on with Andy Beshear in power. And
now Beshear's got an election coming up here. Beshear's got a election coming up here next year. So he is the incumbent. He's very well liked in Kentucky. So I think he's going to win re-election. It's too soon to tell. But what Mitch is doing to assure his legacy is he's trying to get the House, the upper and lower house in Kentucky, to change their constitution, to change their laws so that they can appoint a Republican to replace him and not allow Andy Beshear to do it.
Can we just talk about privilege right then and there? Okay, so here's this evil villain stroking his hairless cat inside of Elaine Chao's cave. Oh, I don't even want to think about that imagery. My bad. Wait a minute. That was horrible imagery. Sucking on his...
Bad. Did you have a Brazilian?
Oh my God, no, we did not go there. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyway. With his hairless cat stalking the courts, denying people the basic human rights, essentials for living, which he got on his own, which he got when he was young and in need. And he is now determining and pushing the Senate, the state Senate, to change the Constitution. Because the Constitution, which has been around for Kentucky for how many years? 200 and 200, 280? How many years?
For Illinois. I don't know.
Okay, so Kentucky's been around for a long time, and they are trying to change it because Mitch McConnell wants to replace his successor. He wants his successor to replace him. He wants to keep that legacy going, and he wants to stay in power.
Yeah. Yep. I Yes, on all counts. Mitch is going to go out of this world yelling and screaming. And you remember way back during, right around the time of the election, right around the time that RBG died, Mitch showed up and he had like bruised, swollen lips and fingers. And I had always wondered if his wife Elaine had just beaten the crap out of him. I don't know.
She could take him. I think a stiff wind could take him.
She's way bigger than him.
Actually.
Yeah. But he's
and did you hear? I'm
He's
sorry, we need to talk
old.
for 1 second about the president of the Senate of Kentucky. I can't think of the guy's name off the top of my head. We'll put it in the comments later on. But his excuse for the entry of this bill
Yeah.
is that
Looking it up. Go ahead.
oh my gosh, and my mind just flaked. I apologize to our listeners. I had an ADHD moment, like completely and totally. His excuse he used in the media.
Robert Stivers.
Robert Stivers was
Yeah.
what did he say? I can't have right. So this is a big blunder on my part.
I'm looking to see if it comes up, but well, he just felt that it was the will. I think what he alluded to, and I don't have the exact verbiage, is that the will of the people of Kentucky would be to give Mitch whatever he wants. So
Yeah,
that was
that's
one of
pretty
the
much the undertone. I'm going to say you were absolutely right. That's the undertone. Well, remember, Kentucky is not ruled by Andy Beshear, and it's actually not even ruled by Mitch McConnell. It's ruled by one judge. One good fella, old boy judge down in Kentucky. And he controls pretty much all of Kentucky. Mitch does what that judge tells him.
Everything. Mm-hmm. And it served Mitch well.
Very well.
Yeah. Mitch has not led a suffering life. Mitch has led, I mean, since healthcare by FDR saved McConnell from polio, from an iron lung. This was FDR's socialist medicine policy. He's been hell-bent, McConnell's been hell-bent ever since, to destroy socialized medicine, to destroy anything and everything around him. There
is definitely, that's what we need to know. There is clearly a difference, like we said, between the DeSantis-style Trump raving idiot and the evil villain, hairless cat stroking, cave dwelling Mitch McConnell. And they're both reprehensible, but I do believe that the Trump ones could be removed with just the right amount of bribery or incentive. But it's these insidious bastards, like Kentucky Judge, like Mitch McConnell, like Greg Abbott, who have been for years building this world of hate and non-tolerance and grift. I mean, it's all in their self-interest.
On Tuesday, we discussed our fascist power couple, the Millers here in Illinois. And
we have our very own fascist power couple.
Their whole incentive, Murray, is the greed that comes from being a corporate farmer. And the fact that under Trump, greedy corporate farmers really prospered. And that's not biblical. It's greed. And that's why Mary Miller is in Congress. That's why she's on the Agriculture Committee. That's why they're allowed to be where they're at. And they are funneled and enabled by other corporate farmers that make up the Illinois Republican Party. You know, damn the small family farms, full speed ahead.
So, folks, we have given you a little bit of a rundown of what has been going on with the evil superpower couple in Kentucky, Mitch and Elaine. And this just really needs to be brought to attention because I'm hoping that our friends in Kentucky will make sure they're aware of what's going on and make their legislators known that this is not a good idea. In fact, the legislators in the Kentucky Senate, Republican legislators in the Kentucky Senate, 3 of them spoke on condition of anonymity so that they could say this was a horrible idea and they didn't agree with it, but they were all too afraid of the president of the Senate and Mitch McConnell. So there's a problem there, guys.
Yeah, it's exactly what the problem is, Murray, because they won't stand up to them. They won't. It's just like watching the Republicans go down to Mar-a-Lago to kiss the ring of the former president.
You mean it's
Trump.
like Mike Pence
they're
spouting the big lie now?
what the hell's with Mike Pence? They wanted to kill him.
I don't know.
They wanted to
I don't
kill
understand.
you, Mike Pence.
I've never understood, and we've discussed this at length through many shows.
I'm telling you, Mike Pence is a pool boy just like Franklin Graham. We just haven't heard about it yet. And that's what Trump has over him. It's just my opinion.
I don't know if it's something over or he just taps into the baser instinct of awfulness. Maybe he's just an awful spreader. Who knows? No, these guys were awful before he ever came around. So tune in to our shows every Tuesday and Thursday. Next week, we will be hitting on our right-wing series again. We talked about our constitutional sheriffs. We've talked about the rise of right-wing across the world, and we're going to talk about some more about women. And be sure to catch all of our previous episodes on YouTube, where you get to see my goofy faces, on Buzzsprout, any place you get your local podcasts or your podcasts. Please, guys, if you like what we do, share us. This is really important that our message gets out there. And so we appreciate all of you. You can find us again, Heartland Mamas.
MAMAS.com. We'll see you later, everybody. See you next Tuesday. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.